Imagine you are strapped into a spacecraft, leaving Earth today on a voyage that pushes the absolute limits of physics. You fire the engines, accelerate to near the speed of light, and set a course into deep space. Inside the cabin, life carries on normally. You eat, you sleep, you work, and exactly 5 years pass by your own watch before you finally turn the ship around and head home. But when you arrive back in orbit, you discover that half a century has slipped by on the ground. Everyone you left behind has aged 50 years. The cities you knew have completely changed, and a lifetime of human history has been written while you were away for just a fraction of that time. Far from being a thought experiment, this temporal gap is a physical reality that emerges directly from the mathematical structure of our universe. Modern physics supports this exact 5-year journey as a literal, achievable event. Traveling forward into the distant future doesn't require magic. It is a proven, built-in feature of the cosmos. The physical rules for this phenomenon were laid out over a century ago by Albert Einstein in his theory of relativity. Relativity proves that time is not a fixed universal constant. If you propel an object close to the speed of light, time actually slows down for that object compared to everything standing still. Physicists call this exact effect time dilation. It is the literal engine that makes traveling into the future possible. And this rule applies to absolutely everything in motion. It governs comets, planets, and even people running down the street, though at normal everyday speeds, the effect is unimaginably small. When you push an object to extreme velocities, you physically disconnect its personal timeline from the standard clock of the surrounding universe. We don't have to build a light-speed spacecraft to see this happen. We can measure it right now using atomic clocks. Researchers placed these precise instruments on commercial aircraft, flew them globally, and proved onboard clocks tick slightly slower than clocks on the ground. You actually rely on this physics every time you check the map on your phone. The global GPS satellite network is a massive orbiting demonstration of time dilation. Because those satellites orbit the Earth at roughly 14,000 miles per hour, their onboard clocks run slower than ours. To keep your location accurate, the system must calculate constant mathematical corrections to bridge that time gap. If engineers ignored the effects of relativity, the navigation system in your car would fail within minutes. Literally speaking, humanity has already built functional time machines that point straight into the future. We just operate them in fractions of a second. Which brings us to a massive unresolved problem. If the architecture of space-time allows us to step into the future, why can't we just reverse the process and travel into the past? Theoretical physicists have proposed ideas like wormholes, cosmic shortcuts created when space-time folds over itself, connecting distant locations. They also study closed time-like curves, a geometric model where a specific flight path through a space-time tunnel spits a spacecraft out before it even departed. But these concepts highlight the strict boundary of our scientific knowledge. Right now, closed curves and wormholes exist entirely on whiteboards and in complex equations. There is no physical or experimental evidence that a wormhole has ever formed in reality, or that such a shortcut could be manipulated into a time machine. And even if you could find a pathway backward, the immense gravitational forces required to bend time into a loop would likely destroy any human trying to pass through it. The physics we have proven reveal a harsh asymmetry about our place in the cosmos. Time travel is real, but it heavily favors a one-way street. The universe possesses the exact mechanical instructions to push you into the future. The real mystery is whether it will ever let you go back. Ultimately, humanity's greatest limitation isn't our ability to manipulate time. It is our total inability to escape the permanent consequences of moving forward.